in early 2020, my father passed away, and I had some friends who died in COVID in March. And I got into this thing: what happens to your digital stuff when you die? And I concluded that no one actually have any idea what happens to your digital stuff. So, and it, you and I talked about it, but let's think about your email and your online documents, and you probably have banking, and you have insurance, you have some domain names, you have some Coinbase, you have some trading, social media, you take photos of your kids or your family. So if you were to get hit by a car today, would your lovely family and partner find all of your online accounts? And the answer is probably not. So that's kind of the problem we're solving with GoodTrust. And also, even though if your partner would or family would find your Apple or Google photos, they know that you have it. Would they know how to get the photos out from Google or Apple? And then the answer is probably not, because you need a US-based court order in many cases to extract those content. So we help you make sure that there's a planning service where we help you make sure that all of your accounts get found and they get to the right person. And then the second thing is that if, God forbid, you do pass away and your family is trying to get to your content, could be money or could be photos, we help them make sure that that happens. And also close down all your accounts, paying subscription services, and then maybe making your social media into a nice memory page so people will remember your legacy forever.
So the idea of good trust has caught a lot of traction since you've been, sort of talking about it on social media and obviously even in more regular media such as the BBC, VentureBeat, Wall Street Journal has covered your story as well. How did you get this kind of momentum? Because it's sort of a new idea, really, isn't it? It's not something that's been around for years. It's something that has been inspired, I'd say, in the last year. I've seen you talking about it more and more. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, we're all been dying all the time, so that's not something new. But we don't really want to think about death.
Hmm.
Of course, when we have a global pandemic and we read about death every day, people becomes much more aware. So I do think that that's a factor. I think the other one is that people are starting to you know realize that we're kind of spending probably on average 7 hours a day online, and it's not just we're working, we're learning, we're playing, we're sort of socializing online today. So actually, most of our assets and connections and relationships and memories are actually documented online. So once the Wi-Fi goes off, or once the power goes off, we're kind of disconnected from all these things. And also, so I think people also, they are doing all this stuff, but due to the fact that you don't want to think about death, you haven't really thought about it. But when I told you about all of your accounts and that you actually don't have a plan, most people get it like this and say, hey, no, actually I don't have a plan. I have a life insurance. I have thought about what's going to happen to my house and my car and my cash. But there are some priceless photos. There are other things that are out there that you haven't thought about. You haven't, you're a Bitcoin guy, I'm sure, which means that you haven't really thought about how that's going to be transferred. So it's essentially going to disappear with you. So it's a new phenomenon. And of course, as the years pass, for the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be even more important.